So here you go. This is what you do when you need to give your gecko a good place to crawl and play. You construct him a little background. Well, good morning, guys. You know, it's a fun day today. Gonna have the daughter come and do a little project. Yeah, for Father's Day. I love to help my kids do stuff, and I like to be creative. So yeah, I'll put that in the video somewhere where we build this little background for a gecko tank. It sounds cool. Foam insulation and grout and a little bit of artistic touch. Today, my wife is, she's got to use the old Honda rod and drive it to Tulsa, which is kind of weird because I drive it every day back and forth. During the school year, the summer, don't have to do that, but the car's still getting the use put on it. Gas has got expensive, guys, and maintenance is just as expensive on cars. So we drive something that's cheap to drive and cheap to maintain. I did stagger the air pressure and threw an extra half-turn wedge into the right rear fork, so handling will be spot on. Yep. What are we doing? Oh yeah, showing you guys what's up. Well, where we're going today. Hadn't been doing much filming on this car today or this week. Yeah, but I come out and I fixed the cracks in the tag pocket area last night. Got it all primed, and then this morning I have a spot in the running board right behind the rear fender, kind of where they join. I'm sure it's probably not welded good or something like that.
Did they tell you what I'm doing?
Nope.
Oh, I'm making a background for Jamie's gecko that she's giving
Jamie's
Jake.
what?
She's giving Jake her gecko. So
Gecko. Oh, gecko.
yeah. So
Not insurance.
not Geico, gecko.
Do what?
Not Geico, gecko.
Well, that would be good, I guess. That's what he wants.
Yeah, he said he wants it.
Probably, there's all kinds of ways you could apply this on there.
This is not your preferred method.
I don't know, it seems like it's working. And you can kind of shape it with that brush. I mean, that really looks like rocks right there.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not trying to,
If there's chunks, it's fine.
yeah, we're not trying to grout tile with it, so it'll be alright. Oh, now it's gonna be too thick. I think it'll be fine. All right, so I had to bring you guys in after this thing dried out most of the way so you could see typical mortar kind of stuff. It's cracking where it was thickest, but we'll come back and put a little thinner coat, fill them cracks in, and we did that already over on this end of it, and it's wetted it back up, so I got the fan left on there to get it all set up. But you can see this dude is pretty cool looking. If I flip it up there, that's how it'll sit in the aquarium. And yeah, your little gecko, he can crawl all over that and just having a good time in there. All right, so I rubbed a bunch of dust in this so you could kind of see this little busted out spot right here. We got a few things going on there. And got a little chip here where the door's hitting this as it's opening. So I bet that this is going to be fun to deal with. All right, so basic 3 tools: roll-lock grinder 3-inch disc, roll-lock grinder 2-inch, and a carbide burr on a die grinder. And that's what we're going to use to do the exploratory surgery here and see what we got. I should probably mask off this door, but I'm not going to. Let's see how thick the body filler is right here, fellas. Got our nice cheese grater, half round. Cut that piece off so you can get the end of this up into tighter spots. We're just gonna whittle this stuff off, carve at it like Grandpa on the front porch, whittling out that chain out of that block of wood. Try not to poke it in there too hard because this stuff is not fully set up. Kind of have to do that with it, get on it while it's still in a plastic state. And I'm just going to get it down kind of close, hit it with a little bit of 40, cover it up with some regular body filler. Nothing but bad memories here, bud. I have it all done up. Be nice. Yeah. And by the way, this is a short strand fiberglass filler that I'm using here. A little stronger than body filler since our car's got a little, well, she's got a little filler in her. All right, guys, so it's just like the old Nike slogan. You just gotta just do it. So that's what we're doing here. Just doing it. Scraping this stuff in so that it's in those scratches good. I did go back over this with 80 on a little baby DA just to try to get good scratch profile in here. That's nice. Drop it on your air hose. Everybody needs a little extra Bondo on the air hose, don't they? We're just going to try to sculpt her back in here, make us a happy little fender. Bob Ross style. Oh yeah. I don't really know that we can do this wrong. Well, maybe we already started off that way. You know, welding metal in, that would be the right way to fix this. Ain't nobody got time for that. We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Just trying to get enough filler in here that we can sculpt this dude out. It's in a curve that's a curve with more curves, so it's not got to be straight, right? Just got to be smooth. And that is what we're after. All right, so I sanded it freehand with just some 40 grit I had left over. And now I'm blocking it with a stir stick with a piece of 80 grit wrapped around it. There's not a lot of it that's flat enough to have to really worry too much about blocking. So that's nice. We just get her cut down close. We'll blow it off. I'll throw some glaze on top of it and we'll get this spot primed up. Ta-da! Last sanding step, guys. Little 320 around those edges so we don't have scratches show later. In our feather edge anyway. I'm just gonna go right around the very edge of this. Some people call it back sanding. I mean, whatever you want to call it. You're just throwing some 320 scratches in so you still get adhesion, but you don't have big scratches right in the edge. It's an important step. I'm not using very good blocking technique or whatnot here because, well, I'm in a dang hurry trying to get this dude done and out of here, or at least this part of it done.
I guess what this side and the other side moving in different places.
So we're going to come in and spray small area. Think small, people. I see a lot of people make the mistake. They do all their sanding and they mask everything in real tight and then they prime over that tape. That leaves a crazy hard line, so you want to avoid that. Mask out further, whatever you got to do, but avoid priming hard lines into your work. And you see that went on pretty wet. So no matter, we just back up, watch a YouTube video, whatever. Let this dry for 5 minutes before you put any more on it. And it's really warm out here today. We're in the mid 80s, so that's perfectly okay to wait just 5 minutes. If it's colder, you have to wait longer. If it's hot, you may be able to get away with it getting back on it sooner. All right, there you go. You can see we finished right at lunchtime, so that's not bad timing for doing 4 or 5 other things and getting this finished prime. It's so tempting to just hose it on there because it's such a small spot, but man, it'll run off in the floor, and then the runs have too much solvent in them, so they end up showing up. Becomes a nightmare. Don't forget to prime your bottoms though, guys. Get them edges. Tip the gun up to get a little primer in it. See him up there? Yep. He's wanting to make some squirrel tacos, isn't he? Disrupting the morning like this. There's another one right back here, hiding. You see the limbs shaking? There he goes. Yep, this has got to be all covered up to keep overspray off of it because we just keep fixing little stuff and priming it on this old car over here. So let's check it out and look at it and see what... Oh yeah, it's all covered up too. Roof, prime block, reprimed. I think one more sand and it'll be ready to do the paint work. This little spot down here is kind of a pain in the rear because all this car is welded together. So the fender, there's no seam to mask anything. I got to decide if we're going to just burn this in and do like an old school spot repair, or if we're going to paint that whole fender. Yeah, we're not going to paint that whole fender. We're going to figure out how to spot repair that. Then there's a spot on the other side on the A-pillar kind of spot, hinge post, whatever you want to call it. It's got a little chip in it that needs to be repaired. There was a chip in the back edge of this door that needed to be fixed. And yeah, paint the back half of this car plus the roof. good amount of prep work going on there. I don't know how much of that I'm going to video. I think this one's kind of drug on long enough. I'll probably hold off until I get a good like point to cover the finish processes, prepping to paint, and we'll go with that, because nobody wants to watch hog shooter sand for 16 days straight. But it is what has to happen, guys. You sand until you're done, and we're not done sanding yet. So it'll be fun. We'll get in the middle of it and get it knocked out. Got to get this thing out of here. I'm going to end this video here, and you guys leave me a thumbs up. Be sure and drop a comment down there if you like what we're doing. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you think what we're doing here might help somebody else, share it. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day. We'll catch you on the next one. Man, it's got like a little tunnel back in there.
I hope he doesn't get stuck.
He won't get stuck.